Guys, welcome back to the Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. If you're watching this, be sure to like the video. If you're listening to this, don't forget to rate and review the podcast. I know it's been a couple of weeks, more than a couple of weeks, but I hope you enjoyed my last couple of conversations with my girl Layla Lynn and my girl Grace Report. We had different conversations than we normally have when we were recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac. And as you already know, the Kempire Radio podcast, I always try to make it a different experience. Yes, a lot of times we talk about hot topics, but there have been times we talked about Reiki, we've talked about astrology, and I plan to continue those types of conversations. Also, delve more into sort of like the music conversations that I'm used to having here on Kempire Radio. So let's just get into everything that I've been up to over the last few weeks and what's been going on in the celebrity world, reality world, and more. All right, where do we begin? Okay, so I'll start with my little mini vacation. I really have to take a vacation where I am fully off of social media, off of, creating content. And I don't believe my next vacation will have that because there is a lot that's going to be happening while I'm on this vacation. So I do take the limits because I do create boundaries. I'm just like, all right, you're going to get a video a day. I'll do a couple of TikToks and things like that. But I still make sure that I enjoy my time away. So this time around, I went again to Tennessee. As you guys know, I have friends and family that live in Tennessee. So I went to Tennessee and just relaxed, hung out, caught up, did those types of things. I did create content. I did create some content outside in their backyard, which was fun. A lot of you liked seeing me outside in nature. I didn't really love nature because it's like fighting, wind, sound. And shout out to Apple's MacBook Pro. Despite all of what I was hearing, you guys couldn't hear it. Thankfully, you really couldn't. Whatever is going on with the MacBook Pro microphones, genius. I can't explain it. I'm not going to even try to explain it. But I was like, oh, you can't hear any of everything. You could hear some stuff, but not everything. It really focused on my voice. And I didn't even use a separate microphone. The new MacBook Pro. They're not paying me. But Apple, if you want to, look, you got it. You definitely got it. All right. So I went to Tennessee and I just chilled. We didn't really do anything crazy besides hang out, enjoy the weather. When I first landed in Tennessee, it was hot, but I have to say the weather fluctuated. So I'm an overpacker. I don't know about anyone else. I've accepted it. This is just who I am. I can't just go somewhere because the way that my mind is set up is that I'm always thinking, well, what if I want this? I already know how finicky I can be. I could probably wear certain outfits multiple times if I can, because if you don't have a washer and dryer, you definitely can't do that. Luckily, I was staying with friends, so I could do that there. But even with that, I'm like, am I going to want to wear that? And then the weather was one day it was going to be hot. Another day it was going to be freezing. Literally, that is what I was experiencing in East Tennessee. I landed, it was hot. I could have wore shorts. I think like a couple of days later, it was freezing and I needed a sweater. So regardless, I had a good time. I was around dogs, lots of dogs. I even got bit by a dog. Nothing to write home about, but I got bit twice by the same dog. Evil. Terror. But look, it worked out fine. I was loving on my friend's dog because she was babysitting other people's dog. But her dog loves me. Because her dog is used to me. And I've always wanted to get a chow chow, and she has a chow chow. But after being around a chow chow, I'm not sure. After being around pets, I'm not sure if that's something I want to do. It's a big responsibility, and I'm already talking about traveling next month, the following month. It's hard if you have a pet. It's really, really hard if you have a pet. It's hard when you have a child, but even harder when you have a pet because at least children grow up. Pets don't. But regardless, it's nice to be around other people's children and other people's pets. Okay. So I did a little bit of that. And of course, if you're in the South, you eat and you eat well, right? So I ate, what did I eat? I had a few different things. I had lots of pancakes. I feel like it's the only time that I have pancakes nowadays. I used to make pancakes like during the pandemic. I was making like my own pancakes, but Cracker Barrel's pancakes when I went to this place. Oh my God, what's the name of the place? It's like Aretha's Pancakes or something like that. It's in Gatlinburg. I love their pancakes, but my eyes are bigger than my actual stomach because I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna get 2 of those or 3 of those, and I only am only able to eat one because they're so filling. They're not your typical pancakes. It's almost like when I went to Puerto Rico and they had like these French toast that was made with cornmeal. That's how the pancakes are, but they're delicious. Delicious. It's like my favorite thing from this place in Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg is like a very touristy area of Tennessee, that part of Tennessee. So when you go to Gatlinburg, I literally been meaning to make like a short TikTok talking about it. I did take a couple of videos, but the area is very touristy. Like there's a lot of kid stuff to do. There's like little rides and things like that. It's a cute little area if you've never been before. Like, but when I go there now, I'm like, I'm just here for my Aretha pancakes. Just saying. So we did that. Of course, we went to other parts of Tennessee that I haven't really. No, I've been to most of the places before, but just sort of like just the rides out, because it takes like 30 to 40 minutes to get to anywhere around there. So just riding out and seeing the rolling green hills and trees and the smoky mountains, seeing cows, horses, being around nature in itself is very grounding. And as an earth sign, I embrace nature. Literally, my friends, they have a barn with horses behind their yard. They don't own the horses. It's a separate barn. And mind you, they live in the city. And I was like, oh, but beautiful horses, cows. Did I see any goats? I can't remember no, I think I did see goats. I can't remember though. I'm trying to remember my trip because at this point it's been a week since I've been back, and I went away for like 8 days, which was nice to kind of be out of the city, out from the constant noise and things like that. So I was looking forward to a little mini vacation. I don't know why I'm calling it a mini vacation. I just went away. It really wasn't a vacation. You guys got content every single day. Every single day. Why am I yelling? But I am going to be traveling for my birthday, as you know. Tourist season begins. Yes, I'm very excited for tourist season. I don't know why. Every time I get excited, oh my God, it's my birthday month. And it sort of comes and it goes. And I'm just like, that wasn't really much of anything. But I did plan a bit of a birthday trip. So that should be interesting. Hopefully it will be nothing but fun and relaxation. So I'm looking forward to that. And I have some other summer plans as well. I hope you guys, I want to know your ideas of where I should go next. I really want to start Africa. But I feel like Africa is such I don't know where to begin. And I feel like it takes a lot of planning, but I have to start because I think once I start, then I'll be like, all right, I've started. Now I can go to this other place or this other place. You know what I mean? I want to go to Japan. I definitely want to do Bali and Thailand. Mind you, I would have went to Bali. And here's a lesson to everyone. And this is why I travel by myself. I used to have my friend who was my travel partner, but she's sort of like settled down. She's got a husband. But here's the thing. I was planning to go to Bali and I was just going to go by myself. But I'm like, I'm always with my friends. You want to come? You're invited. So we were talking and plotting and planning, only come to find out it didn't happen. So I'm just going to have to plot and plan this trip by myself. But I just feel like Bali and Thailand's a trip, not with a large group of friends, but with a couple of people, not by yourself. I mean, of course, I can go anywhere by myself. I've been to a bunch of places by myself. But I was a little disappointed because I would have been in Bali this year at some point, but everything happens the way it is. Maybe I would not be going on the trips that I'm about to go on if I had gone to Bali at the top of this year. And if you haven't paid your taxes, be sure to pay your taxes. So that was the other thing. I felt like a year ago, I was in Puerto Rico right as I was filing my taxes. And if you remember, if you've been around since then, I ended up cutting my Puerto Rico trip short just because I was just like, my friend had to leave as well. So I was just like, all right. And I had to deal with some tax stuff. Because, look, not only am I creative, I'm a business owner. So as a business owner, you got to make sure all your P's and Q's are taken care of. So before I left, I think like a week or two before I left, I made sure I had completed all my things that I needed to complete for my accountant. And I was like, when are y'all going to finish these taxes? A couple of weeks had passed by. And I'm like, when are you guys going to finish these taxes? So while I'm away, I'm dealing with that as well, along with trying to relax. I mean, finally, everything was finalized, but I just hate being away and not in my office or studio to at least have access to everything that I need so I can answer any questions and things like that, or my printers, all of that stuff. But rest assured, taxes are done. I mean, oh my goodness, the amount of money that I have to pay in taxes, I'm just like, okay. At some point, look, I have no problem paying my fair share, but I'm just like, damn, that much? It's all right. It's all right, though. I paid my taxes. Guys, let's move on from my trip, which was fun and great, and I'm excited about the next big trips. Let's move into some music news. Speaking of some music news, our girl Janet Jackson officially started her tour. And I didn't get tickets. And I'm kind of glad I didn't get tickets. No shade to Janet. I'm glad I didn't get tickets because when she's here in New York, I won't be. And then I'm trying to figure out where I can see her somewhere else in the country that I want to go. But then I'm thinking, man, I don't know. I got to figure that out because I really would like to see Janet at this tour because I have not seen Janet on tour. And I hear she's still really much, the Together Again tour is really good, I'm hearing. And I hear that she's really, really great live still. After all these years, she's still really great live. And it's a whole new show. So, and a whole new tour. But I'm hearing good things. Congratulations to her. Sidebar. Because I'm thinking about Beyonce, because, Beyonce has her tour that's about to launch. Chloe Bailey, her new album came out in pieces, and I think it only sold like 10,000 like physical copies. I'm not even sure if this might be streaming and physical copies combined. And a lot of people were like, oh, wow. Some people were blaming Beyonce, like, Beyonce, you can't even do an Instagram post. But here's the thing. Beyonce owns Parkwood. And she's been mentors to Chloe and Halle since their YouTube days. But Parkwood got her in multiple places promoting her project. Like, it wasn't like Chloe wasn't everywhere and anywhere for promoting her project. I think some of the singles that came out ahead for this project didn't really connect with people. Then there was a controversy with Chris Brown being a part of it. There's been a lot of hate for Chloe, which I'm actually kind of surprised. You know what I mean? I'm not sure why. I have to say, I enjoyed her other two singles that are not a part of this project more than what we've heard. And I haven't listened to the entire album. Some of you said that you've enjoyed her album. But I was just watching people blast Beyonce for not promoting Chloe's project on her Instagram. And I'm just like, well, Instagram is one thing. The actual promotion on major platforms is another thing. Yes, Beyonce's Instagram is a major platform, but even that wasn't helping Ivy Park. And let's be honest. But the other side of this, if you've been around for a very long time and you've seen Beyonce's growth as an artist, no one gave a helping hand to Beyonce's career like that. You know what I mean? Beyonce has worked for everything that she has. So although I do believe Parkwood did put the energy and money behind Chloe's album, I also feel like in some sense, Beyonce's like, no one gave me everything on a platter. You should work to create your own audience and not always align yourself with my fans. Because first of all, the Beehive is going to be hard to penetrate, but I believe the Beehive loves and supports Chloe, but the creation of that hive was Beyonce. So I believe she has that same sort of work ethic in her head. It's like, you're going to have to work to build your own community. And yes, it would be very easy for Beyonce to put Chloe on her tour, which it's still very easy for her to do like that. I don't know if she's going to do it. Didn't Chloe and Halle tour with Beyonce before? But anytime people can hate on Beyonce, they're going to try. But this also comes from people that are ignorant to the fact of Parkwood is her company, and they did put her out there. Part of the reason why she was on several different platforms and different platforms right now was because of her being a part of Parkwood and them negotiating those opportunities. Because she's also managed by Parkwood, which is interesting when I think about that. I don't know. I feel like that should be somewhat separate, but that's really up to the artist. Because I just feel like your management is your label. Sometimes you need that person that's separated from the label and is really your advocate. Not to say that Beyonce isn't her advocate. It just gets a little weird. All right. How did I get on Beyonce? Because Beyonce's tour is coming. I didn't get tickets for that either, but I didn't even try. I didn't look. I'm not trying to jump through hoops. If an opportunity opens up where I can get Beyonce tickets and it's not in the nosebleeds, then I will do it. However, I'm not fighting y'all for Beyonce tickets. I'm hoping she will do it. Look, a DVD. No, maybe she'll stream it or something. I don't know. Speaking of streaming, what happened with Love is Blind reunion live that was supposed to happen this past week? It fell apart and they ended up not even streaming it. They had to record it and then they put it out. Everybody was shading them. Hulu was shading them. Bravo was shading them. Lord. Okay, backtracking back to music. We'll get to some reality TV talk maybe at the end of this. Guys, as always, if you are watching this, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe to the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. If you're listening to this, of course, be sure to rate and review, because rating and review the podcast is important. Kempire Radio has been around for a very long time, but I always forget to, promote. Do what you need to do, especially when it comes to the podcast. And on the YouTube channel, you can check out some of our past interviews and things like that. But speaking of music, first off, why is Marques Houston, this Marques Houston story? I don't know if you know about this story. Marques Houston, from Immature and Sister Sister. So he's been doing recent interviews. I'm assuming he's promoting something. I don't know what he's promoting. I don't even care at this point. So at first, when people were alluding that, oh, he's with this young girl, and they were trying to make it seem like he was some sort of, for lack of a better word, I'm just gonna give you the sound effect, okay? Some sort of R. Kelly, okay? So you know what I'm saying. So I was like, all right, maybe they're reaching. I don't know. It is a little questionable, but unless I see a pattern with other women and things like that, then maybe I would like, I'm trying to look, here I go twerking on the fence. I'm trying to give him some sort of like, I don't know. Until I saw a video today, right before we started recording this, and I was just like, oh, wait a minute. What in the Chris Stokes is going on?
How you doing?
We will get to that in a second, but our friends over at the Jasmine brand posted this clip from a conversation with Marques Houston in regards to his feelings on women his own age.
Because he doesn't give us anything, So I think that's a lot of the reason why people make up stuff too, because they just can't get it from me.
But don't part of you want to say, well, damn, at least she's black. That's a black woman I married. Like,
And that's true. Like, all through the Immature days, we would have light-skinned girls in our videos like, why can't you get a sister? Why can't you get a black girl? And then it's like, oh, y'all only like skinny girls. And it's just like, the plus size women was coming out. And I'm just like, man, I just can't catch a break. But it might be true because everybody thought I was their husband. And I'm sorry, ladies, I'm taken. And, Maya got me. So, I mean, if you want to be jealous, you can be jealous. But, just love me. Watch the movies, watch the entertainment. Just watch my life from a distance. I married a sister and she's beautiful and smart and talented, and she's caring and loving, and she's everything that I saw myself being in a relationship with.
Right.
And when you look at a person's qualities, like I was talking to one of my friends, and I was saying, yeah, okay, I'm 41, right? She's 22. I could have married a 41-year-old woman, and it could have been disastrous. They could have felt like, because I'll sit and talk to women, and women that are my age, and they kind of have a different outlook on life. A lot of women my age are very independent. They are very like, I don't need a man to do this for me because I could do this for myself. And I come from a generation that I'm very, very, love to provide for my wife. I love to provide for my woman. And I'm very in that generation, like the old days, you know. I would never want to be with a woman that felt like, oh, I don't need you, or I don't, you know what I'm saying, like that. So, you know, and there's a lot of women my age. I've dated women my age, and you know, they may have baggage, they may have kids, they may have not. You know, it's just there's so many different women that I've dated throughout my life, and this just so happened to be the one that caught my heart.
So what was your red flag like when you
This is the one that caught his heart. The young one. Here's the thing. We've seen older guys date very young women for hundreds of years. I always find it interesting because look, even at my big age, I'm the same age as Roger. Go home, Roger. Marcus. I get a lot of people, because I don't necessarily look, 41. However, I get a lot of younger people, 22 maybe. I mean, I've had some 22 like hit on me and things like that. Would I take them serious in a serious relationship? Me personally, no. Could I? I could. However, I just don't know intellectually, or just not even the conversations, because I believe 20-something-year-olds can have highly intelligent conversations, deep conversations. But to have a serious relationship, first of all, I wouldn't want to do that to them. I would want you to live out your 20s. I would want you to be traveling. I would want you to be dating. I would want you to be living your 20s to the fullest, whatever that might mean. So his excuse for some of these women are just too independent. I'm just like, Marcus, I even commented on the Jasmine brand. I was like, go home, Roger. Because I can't. The more he talks about the situation, the more suspicious people get about this story. Because here's the thing. There are elements to this story that people are questioning, because was she a missing person? And was she missing between the years where she was a minor? So let me play this clip for you in regards to the allegations.
Maya just kind of went radio silent between 2016 and 2018. But one weird thing about this whole case is that during those years when she was missing, she was credited as an art director for several of Chris Stokes' movies that spanned from 2016 to 2018. And for those who still don't get the connection, Chris Stokes is Marcus's manager, and they have a very close relationship. Now, at the time that Maya was credited for those movies, she was under 18. So the probability that she was a real art director is very slight. Oh, and let's not even get into the fact that once people started talking and made this about this weird fact, her IMDb page was immediately deleted and scrubbed clean. I don't know about y'all, but it certainly smells like a cover-up to me. The story that they told was that Maya was close friends with Chris Stokes' daughter, Chrissy, and they were so close that they were like sisters, and Chris was like a father to her. This still doesn't explain why or how they were with a minor who was legally classified as missing, and people believe that they had helped Marcus hide Maya from the public until she 18. And let's not forget that Chris Stokes himself has SA allegation against him by B2K member Raz B, who used to be managed by Chris. Also, there's this weird countdown that Marcus had on his Instagram in late 2018, and it's believed that he was counting down the days until Maya turned 18 and they could go public with their relationship. The countdown ended on October 7th, which just so happened to be Maya's 18th birthday. Coincidence? I don't think so. It's just creepy.
So when I saw this on On-Site's website, I'm assuming they took this from, I'm not sure if this is another content creator. I apologize. I normally cite my sources, but I saw this right before we decided to talk about, to record the podcast. Wow. The more he talks about this, the more he is digging a hole for himself. Maya, I hope you're okay, girl. But when she mentioned Chris Stokes, I said, oh, what in the Raz B? Chris Stokes has been battling accusations for years. You just Google schmoogle them. We're not going to get into them. So when I found out that possibly there's a connection between Marques Houston, his now wife, and Chris Stokes, I didn't even realize that Chris Stokes still actively his manager? Oh, what happened to Marques Houston? Oh, goodness. Anyways, guys, you will let me know your thoughts in the comments section, in the live chat when we premiere the visual version of this conversation. All right, let's move on because I feel icky. Oh, speaking of icky, right before I started recording this, it was announced by Erika Jayne herself that she is going to Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas. Yes, she's going to Las Vegas. She announced it's called Bet It All on Blonde, the Las Vegas residency. But a lot of you told me it's at the House of Blues at Mandalay Bay, and that's sort of like off Broadway. Not off Broadway, but off Broadway, so off the strip in Las Vegas. Oh, and we haven't been together since it was announced that the Las Vegas will be hosting BravoCon this year. I still have not confirmed on whether or not if I'm going to at least try and book something. At least I have it there just in case I change my mind at the last minute. But yeah, because like I've said before, and I'll say it again, the best part of BravoCon here in New York City was meeting all of you that enjoy my content. And that gift is priceless. And I would love to see everyone that wasn't able to make it to New York that is able to make it to Vegas. So stay tuned. But when she announced this is stemming from August 25th to December 16th, which it overlaps with the BravoCon that's happening in Vegas. So that's interesting and smart. I'm going to give her some credit, but I'm not going to watch this. I never thought she was a talented singer. That it's expensive to be meh. That line already is the best part, and she's like a one-line wonder for me. But other than that, I'm not trying to buy no Erika Jayne music. She had to buy her career. That's the only reason why she has a career as an artist was because of her husband that stole and lied and all the other stuff. And who's allegedly faking, not remembering anything. So she posted this on her Instagram saying, after darkness comes light. 365 days ago, I was at one of the lowest points in my life. Thanks to your love and support, it is with tears in my eyes that I announce my first Las Vegas residency. Bet it all on Blonde. To anyone who's ever told you that something is impossible, that you're not good enough, or that they don't believe in you, dreams do come true. I'm forever grateful for all of you who have been with me through this journey, and I'm so excited to celebrate life's moments with you starting August 25th. Tickets go on sale Monday, April 24th at 10 a.m. PST. Just in case you were interested. And look, there are a handful of Erika supporters that will go. And there will be people that are just nosy that will go. And we appreciate you because you will let us know how the performance is. At least she's keeping Mikey employed. But I heard Mikey made a ton of money from when he was working with Tom and Erika together. So maybe Mikey was very good with his money. He's still working, though. He's still working. So we have that with Erika. All right. So congratulations to Erika. I know people are still having mixed feelings about the new season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because we haven't really heard anything. But we do see that there are quite a few appearances being made this season, including Cynthia Bailey, Larsa Pippen, Denise Richards, Kim Richards. No word on whether or not Kathy Hilton will be making an appearance this season. Who else? Oh, the Nat is making an appearance. Teddy Mellencamp. She just was at an event. Kyle's event, of course. That's the only way. Kyle is still trying to make that happen, and we do not care. Kyle, if anything, you're making us not like you even more by trying to force the Nat down our throats. Just saying. Please leave us alone with that. We don't care. Just say it. So a couple of things that we talked about this past week, including Chance the Rapper receiving a lot of backlash because he was in Jamaica celebrating Carnival and his 30th birthday. And there was a mixed conversation on whether or not it was appropriate for him to be, bumping up against this woman that is not his wife. And I have to say, there's been literal mixed conversation. A lot of people, well, that's Caribbean culture. It's not a big deal. And some people are like, well, look, I'm Caribbean and that's not acceptable behavior at all. I mean, I haven't seen Chance address address it, as he probably shouldn't, because the only person he needs to address it with is his wife and how she feels about it. And for all we know, that maybe they're broken up, or for all we know, they're like, no, it's not a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal if she doesn't. If it was my man, it'd be a whole other story. Just saying. The other thing that's happening right now, first of all, Fire Festival 2 apparently is happening. Yes, Fire Festival 2. You remember that guy that was locked up. He just got out of prison and is already announcing Fire Festival number 2. What in the... You can fill in the blank here. He announced that on his social media, and he also announced after he saw the article where Ja Rule, who was associated with Fire Festival, the original, said, I don't know anything about it. Look, it is what it is. And this guy retweets the article and says he's not invited. I think he's okay with not being invited, okay? But speaking of Fire Festival, right now we're in the second week of Coachella, and Frank Ocean received a lot of backlash this past week for his performance at Coachella. So apparently, Frank Ocean was an hour and a half late for his performance at Coachella. It wasn't streamed to YouTube like all the other performances. And apparently his set was a lot shorter than it was supposed to be. It was like a half hour. But I'm thinking part of that was because they have curfews. And apparently Coachella had already been fined $117,000 for violating the curfews. So, but a lot of people were saying a few different things about his performance, that it was awkward. There were quite a few awkward, silent moments. You could barely see him on the stage the way it was set up. You could barely see him even on the big screens. He did announce that he has a new album coming out. I mean, a lot of you like his music. I can count how many songs that I know of Frank Ocean and enjoy on one hand. But I don't take that away. Look, that doesn't mean he's not a great artist just because I don't like him like that. Because I do like a couple of his songs, and I like some of the songs he's written for other people. But I mean, I wasn't flying across the country to go see Frank Ocean. And now after this fiasco, it makes me never want to see him, just in case it might be one of those performances. Just saying. Justin Bieber just came out in defense of him and said he was so inspired by the performance. Okay, Justin, you don't even give performances like this. But Justin, has put touring on hold because of, I believe, his mental health. So, but excuse me, maybe this is going to inspire him. He's like, oh, well, maybe I could do a performance like this. Look, Justin could do a performance like this and they will love it. Just saying. All right. Moving on from that, in some reality TV news, let's talk about before we move into reality TV news, let's talk about Jonathan Majors. So as you know, Jonathan Majors, the actor, is facing criminal charges here in New York City for allegedly attacking a woman that they're saying is his girlfriend. He's not saying that. That's what reports are saying. And one of the last videos that I did on my YouTube channel, I had covered the text messages that were released via Jonathan Majors' attorney. And a lot of you, after reading the text messages, says she sounds like an abused woman. This does not help Jonathan Majors in this situation. So since then, Jonathan Majors has lost a lot. He lost the ad immediately, almost immediately. He lost the U.S. Army ads that he was in. But recently, he has allegedly been dropped by his management and publicists. All right. And now I'm hearing that he has also been pulled from being at the Met Gala this year. And I believe he was supposed to be dressed by Valentino. I'm wondering if he decided not to go to the Met because when you're going to be interviewed by press and things like that. So maybe he decided not to make a public appearance, because I don't think I've seen him since these allegations. I mean, he's losing a lot, but we still do not know the full story. We still have, apparently there's video footage. Someone in my comment section said, I think maybe he was dropped by his management and publicist was because they saw the footage and they were like, I don't know if we can twist this. Because Priya Chaudhary, the same attorney that represented Jen Shah and now is seeking over $124,000 in unpaid bills from Jen Shah, has released those text messages like it would prove his innocence. And she says that we have all the evidence that will prove his innocence. And some of you believe that people that have seen this evidence don't believe the same. I hate to see this happen, especially if it's not true. I don't know. We weren't there. He's supposed to go back in court on May 8th, I believe. We're going to continue to follow the story, but if you want more details on the story, be sure to check out the Kempire channel on YouTube for the full details we've been covering since the arrest. Let's move into some reality TV talk. So, there's been a lot of news that has come out. Our friends over at lovebscott.com had quite a few exclusives last week, I believe, in regards to what we can expect for the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15, including some sort of lesbian affair between, I don't know. I'm going to call it a lesbian affair because Drew Sidora is married, and apparently there is audio or recording of some sort where Drew admits to kissing LaToya. Sidebar, I'll make this a podcast exclusive. LaToya forever. Hit me in my Instagram just to clear up a story. Sometimes the things that y'all will hit people up to clear up. She says, I never took my husband's last name. It's LaToya Howard. Okay. Look, all right. Why doesn't the general audience know that then? Why are we, I don't understand. Anyways, the things to clear up. LaToya Forever is what we really refer to her as her YouTube name. You think she's gunning to come back? You know she wants to come back. She wanted to be full-time on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Do you think that she should come back? Some of you do want to see LaToya given another chance. So apparently there's some sort of recording. I believe Marlo's the one who took the recording because she can be overheard. Kandi can be overheard in regards to it. So that's not the only thing that happens during the seasons. There's a few different things that happen for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, including some sort of battle between Kandi and Marlo this season. Another battle between Kandi and Marlo. So all that's going to play out. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel because based off what has dropped in regards to what we can expect, I'm like, I'm going to give it a watch. But so far, it's not enticing to me. You know what I mean? It's not. It's not. But we shall see. We shall see. But speaking in regards to the Bravo universe, you know, when the Real Housewives of Atlanta premieres, I believe it's May 7th? Yes, May 7th. We also have the Summer House spinoff, Martha's Vineyard. I'm actually looking forward to that. A couple of the people have started following me. Leave me alone. Stop following me. I'm still going to talk about you no matter what. Just saying. So, yeah, so Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. I'm actually excited to see it. I'm excited to see these personalities. It's a all new cast. So it will be interesting. This is the very first time that we've had a Summer House spinoff with an all-black cast. Of course, they've had other spinoffs and things like that, like Winter House. So, speaking of Bravo, I'm just going to give you a roundup of Bravo. Latasha Scott is still blaming everybody but herself for the downfall of herself on the Queens of R&B reality show. She's still doing interviews. I have not gotten the full update in regards to Latasha's album sales. At this point, if it had done numbers, she would be bragging about it. But I also told you, if you watched my coverage of the whole situation, Latasha even lied to Motown in regards to this being a gospel album. It sounds like, based on the songs that I've heard, it sounds like a gospel. It sounds like an R&B album, not a gospel album. But she did a recent interview talking about, you know, she's still very much a part of Escape. She's not happy with how, you know, the reality show turned out. She blamed Mona Scott Young. And I was just like, y'all really... Mona Scott Young is the executive producer of Love and Hip Hop. Although I don't think Queens of R&B turned out to be a Love and Hip Hop, you think I'm going to Mona Scott Young for, I want to make sure that I want quality reality. I mean, she's still quality. You know what I mean? Family television? No. Look, I'm not going to Mona Scott Young for family television, to be honest with you. But I also don't blame Mona Scott Young for Latasha Scott's truth and her sister calling out with receipts what happened to her. That's not Mona Scott's doing. If anything, she brought a light to it and gave it a platform and focused on that because that's your truth. Allegedly. I don't know. Speaking of Bravo, Quad is officially out. She's officially out over at Married to Medicine, even though her ex-husband, Dr. G, is officially in, and they filmed his wedding this past week. Phaedra is still there, and one of the things that stood out to me, with all the footage or the pictures that we've seen, we have yet to see a picture of Phaedra and this dentist together. But we already know that the whole reason that Phaedra is on Married to Medicine is so that Bravo could bring her back to Bravo. So they're jumping all kinds of hoops to bring Phaedra back. And I told you, I think Phaedra had quality, classic moments on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But from what I've seen of her recently, she's not about to give you guys any truth, any real relationship. She's not even married to this man. Who knows if she will get married to this man? Some of you don't want to see Phaedra at all, but there are some of you that want to see Phaedra, but you want to see her back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But as long as Candy's there, that's not going to happen. But I have yet to see this man that she's dating. Unless she wants to be like, I am a doctor. I have a Juris Doctorate. People forget that that's what a JD is for an attorney. But no one refers to an attorney as a doctor. Just saying. Look, just saying. Love is Blind. Love is Blind. The big fiasco this past weekend. I was ready to watch it with you guys on Sunday, and I was kind of glad that it was late, but then it ended up being even later. So we ended up doing a full recap of the entire season. Sidebar, I did finish watching You Season 4. For those that may have not seen it, it's a slow start for them. It was a slow start, but the end, those last 3 or 4 episodes, and I know you're thinking, I have to get to the last 3 or 4 episodes before it gets good, then it's trash. And I agree with you. But if you're a fan of the show, then it's worth getting to the end. Hopefully it won't be such a slow start for next season. I hope they get a next. I think they will. Speaking of Netflix, though, they just canceled Bling Empire, the entire franchise, the California one and the new New York one. Mind you, I had started Bling Empire, but I never finished it. And it wasn't because it wasn't good. I just kind of forgot. And then everyone announced Bling Empire New York, and I was like, oh, I would love to get into that. And now it's done. It's one and done. Damn. Speaking of Netflix, they renewed Buying Beverly Hills. That's what it's called, right? With Mauricio, from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Well, he's been on this promo tour for his new book. I forgot what the name of the book is, but I don't look at Mauricio as this high-powered real estate agent, even though he is, because he sells millions and millions and millions of real estate. I just don't take him that serious. I don't know why. But some of the things that he's saying during this whole promo, I'm just like, oh God, you're as obnoxious as your wife. I think we preferred you, Mauricio, when you were there, and we were like, oh, Mauricio's hot, and that was it. But I think we haven't gotten past how you were laughing at Garcelle's son getting yelled at by Erika Jayne, and then your reimagining of history between you, Kathy Hilton, and Rick Hilton. Anyways, they're renewing it. I didn't think season 1 was bad. We shall see. I hear we're going to see more of Kyle in season 2. I wonder how they negotiated that in her contract. Speaking of the Real Housewives, though, we do have a newbie coming to the Real Housewives Potomac. They're currently filming season 8, and word on the street is that everyone is coming back. But they're also getting a new housewife, Nika Ehim. This is an exclusive from our friends over at TV Deets. I did a separate video talking at length, but she really is impressive. She's an attorney. She went to some really good schools. She's married to a doctor. Her father was a cardiologist and a philanthropist. So it's interesting. She should be interesting. I'm wondering, though, at what capacity will everyone else return? Because let's be honest, a lot of you do not want to see Robin return, but there's still a lot that Robin has to address in regards to her own personal storyline. And I don't believe they're going to make her address that as a friend of, because friend ofs, you really don't get into it. So word on the street is everyone's back, including Deborah. Well, I don't know. She attended Ashley Darby's housewarming. So yeah, you'll see her. I don't know if you'll hear from her. Charisse as well. Oh, anyways, Love is Blind. Oh, you thought I forgot, didn't you? So Love is Blind, I feel like season 4 was one of their best. I loved season 4. I love Zach and Bliss. I'm so glad that they found each other despite the little hiccup with Irina. Jackie and Josh, they're still together, but Jackie, I already knew from the jump, even though I had already saw some rumors online about the situation. I already could tell. You kept on saying that Marshall's someone that you should be with. Marshall's someone that, that's different. And I was like, this is not your guy. This is not your guy. Why are you forcing it? So we had that. Who else was my favorite? Of course, Brett and Tiffany. Cute from the very beginning. We already knew by the end that they were going to say I do to each other. I would have been truly shocked if they didn't. I was really shocked that Kwame and Chelsea said yes to each other. I was surprised that Kwame said yes. Because the way it was edited, you would think it's like, you don't sound like you're going to say yes at the end of this. You seem like you're still hung up on Micah. Micah and Paul's situation was interesting because I feel like there was more to that story. And even Zach was spilling tea at the reunion. There was more to that story. And apparently Micah was talking a lot of trash about Paul. And that's part of the reason why he decided not to marry her. And the fact that she pointed out, oh, you go first. It was clear. She probably knew that his energy had changed once he had found out that she was talking trash about him to the other ladies, and Zach told him. So I'm thinking that is what made him decide I'm not going to marry her. Not the comment he made about her being, he didn't think that she'd be a good mother. Everyone is trashing Nick and Vanessa Lachey for their hosting duty, saying that especially Vanessa, she wouldn't shut up. She was so biased, da-da-da-da-da. And I had pointed out, because based off of the first 3 seasons, I was just sort of like, this is the best that they've done as reunion hosts. Even though Nick just sort of sits there and looks pretty, that's about it. It's really Vanessa, talking and talking and talking and talking. But I see what you guys are saying in regards to Vanessa and the constant conversation about babies and things like that. I don't know. I think a lot of people are watching this show, so that's part of the reason why she's getting a lot of backlash. And I think, look, she doesn't really know how to. I think she really does take these relationships with these people personal, as opposed to being a reunion host or a host of this show. She has her favorites. I have my favorites, but again, a lot of you like to call me not you guys, but a lot of people like, oh, you're biased. I'm like, I'm reviewing a show. However, I'm not hosting the show. So I can understand where people be like, you can't be biased if you're hosting a show. You have to ask and call everyone out on their BS. And why exactly was Jackie and Josh not there in person? Or at least zooming in for the reunion and not a separate Zoom interview? It was weird. It was strange, but Jackie has always been strange. Josh is Josh. I'm not surprised. Josh has showed who he is from the jump. I'm not surprised who he is. They deserve to be with each other. Good for them. They've been together a year though. Just saying. What else did I want to talk about before I let you guys go? I think that's it for now. As always, I'm always trying to give you more content here on the podcast, but be sure to follow me on all the platforms. Head on over to thekempire.com for more details on all the other platforms that we're working on, YouTube, our merch, everything. All right. Thank you all for being here. And if you're listening to this, don't forget to rate and review the podcast. Give us a 5. Help us elevate the podcast so I can devote more time to the podcast. For more information on everything, head on over to the description of this episode or the description of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to our moderators, the King's Guards. We appreciate you guys as well. I will see you guys later.